Welcome back to another edition of Fly Tying for Beginners. Today we're going to tie a Grizzly King. This is a classic wet fly. The hook I have in a vise is a size 12. It is a standard wet fly nymph hook. I'm going to use 8/0 black thread. And we're going to start behind the eye. And we're going to come back maybe one eye length. First thing we're going to put on is this is going to be the rib and also the tag. And we want the tag and rib to be gold. So I'm going to tie it on so I can see the silver side. And when we wrap it, we're going to see the gold side. And we're going to bring that back to where the thread would hang at the barb. Just going to leave that for now. I'm going to put the tail in. The tail is going to be red. This is goose quill dyed red. You can use just red hackle if you'd like. We want that tail to be just the length of the body. I'm going to secure that right there at the barb area. Now we're going to attach the body, and that is going to be green floss. We're going to start that right at the same place. And we're going to tie everything forward. It's okay if you make a couple open wraps to get that down. And we're going to remove that tail piece. I'm going to take the green floss and we're going to wrap this. We're going to wrap this forward. And we'll tie that off at the front. Put a couple locking wraps in front of that floss. And trim that off. I'm going to take the gold tinsel. I'm going to start by wrapping underneath. And then I'm going to go under the tail. So I'm going in back of the body right now. And I'm going to take a couple of wraps towards the back. And I'm actually counter wrapping this. And I'm going to come back towards the front. Lift that tail. Keep that up there high. And when we reach the tail, then we could go ahead and start our rib. And we're going to palmer this to the top. You want to keep this kind of tight. If you don't tie the tinsel in tight, it will unravel on you very easily. And by that I mean keep pressure on the tinsel as you bring it forward. And we'll put a couple of securing wraps in front of that tinsel. And secure that. I'm going to take a little bit of head cement. And I put a little bit of head cement on the tag. Very dry brush here. And that will help to secure it from the teeth of the fish. Bring our thread back to that one eye from the shank. Now we're going to put the hackle on. And I have a Grizzly Hackle, and I removed the barbels from one side. I'm going to tie this in by the tip. I removed the barbels because I don't want it that thick. Once you don't catch any of the barbels, I trimmed the front just a little bit. And then we're going to wrap this in. And give it about 3 wraps. And remove the excess. I'm going to take all those hackles and I'm going to push them towards the back. I also want to push them to the bottom. If you get a couple that are going to stay at the top, we could just trim them off. We're going to wrap back on the hackles, just maybe 2 wraps worth, 2 widths of the thread. And like I said, there's a couple still at the top. We're just going to trim those away. Now for the wing, we want to use a barred flank feather. This is a teal feather. You can use a wood duck flank, but you want a gray barred feather. We're going to tie this in just flat. And then we're going to take it and we're going to pull it to size. And this is also going to collect the feather. It's going to bunch it up. And we're going to secure that. I'm going to hold it up and I'm going to put a few wraps right in front of it to lock it in. And then we'll remove the excess and finish off the head. Take our whip finish. Pull that tight, remove the excess and put some head cement on there. And here we have the classic wet fly, the Grizzly King. Hope that you learned something from this video. Hope you would subscribe to my channel. Please refer me to your friends. Leave comments, questions, suggestions, and most of all, thank you very much for watching my videos.